I reached out to Dr. Ivan because it's very hard when doctors look at you and tell you there's no cure for what you have. And I didn't have any hope. I was just slowly becoming bedridden. And I took on, hey, well, let's just go on this journey and see where it takes me. And it's been very good to me.
So if you've been diagnosed with a neurodegenerative disease like MSA, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, I want you to know that there's a way around it. And we're here to help you find that way.
My name's Esther Benitez. I'm from Miami, Florida. I have multiple system atrophy. I was diagnosed a year ago.
MSA stands for multiple system atrophy. Multiple system atrophy is a Parkinsonian-like disease where it causes a buildup of a specific type of protein in the glial cells of the brain.
Before that, I had Parkinson's. And this is an illness that slowly deteriorates your muscles in your body. Unfortunately, there is no cure for it right now. And that's where Dr. Ivan comes in. He's taken on my case and he's wanted to help me reduce all of the effects that this disease has had on me.
The glial cells are responsible for creating the myelin sheath, which is what conducts electricity throughout the entire neuron. So when this specific type of protein builds up in there and gunks it up, your brain doesn't communicate with itself or the rest of the body very effectively. This can lead to gait disturbances, issues when it comes to speaking, digestion, blood pressure, because it not only attacks the central nervous system, it attacks the autonomic nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system is what controls the things that you don't think about: blood pressure, digestion, breathing, all that kind of stuff. So all of these are at risk with multiple system atrophy. That's why it's called multiple system atrophy.
I started having the symptoms about 2.5 years ago. I started feeling more tremors, rigidness. I was falling a lot. And then that's when my neurologist did a lot of studies to see what was going on. And it came back that I had multiple system atrophy.
So the crazy thing about MSA is nobody really knows where it comes from or how we get it. There's a lot of speculation. Obviously, genetics plays a gigantic factor, and genetic plays a big factor in anything. I don't care who you are. But again, they don't really have an idea of why we start to accumulate this specific type of protein in this specific part of our brain. They do relate it back, and I also agree with them, which is kind of a rare thing with me in traditional medicine. A lot of lifestyle factors go into it. Smoking, the food we eat, the lifestyle we lead, the sleep we get, the stress we undergo, all these things basically accumulate into what's called mitochondrial dysfunction. And that's one of the biggest things I think play an important role in what MSA is, which nobody really goes after. I guess you could say your mitochondrial health, your metabolic health is one of the most important things out there.
It started affecting my walking. Unfortunately, I was reduced to being in a wheelchair at times. So my mobility was completely gone. I couldn't write. So of course that would interfere in every daily activity that I would have with my children.
When she got diagnosed, she wasn't really able to walk as freely as she used to. She'd get really bad tremors, she'd shake a lot.
I couldn't fend for myself. I would have to be helped being fed. And unfortunately, that's just something that the disease does to your body and there's no cure.
It was a frustrating thing. It was more medications, testing. They were treating her condition as an experiment to see what new medication they could give her and if it would work.
I found out about Dr. Ivan through a friend of mine who is a patient of his, and he actually called up Dr. Ivan, explained to him my situation, and Dr. Ivan studied my case and he took me on as a patient.
So the bad thing about MSA, there is no cure for it. And if you take a look at traditional medicine, it's just kind of like with any debilitating disease. It's just put the patient on the shelf and just let them, kind of live out their life as best they can, which I think is bullshit medicine. I think we all deserve a chance.
The only medication that they have right now is carbidopa-levodopa, but there really isn't a specific medication for this disease.
So when Esther first came in, it was kind of like Lee Hill all over again.
I think it's been a fabulous, successful challenging. Defying the victim aspect of whatever one is going through is a major accomplishment. Flying a mile high is exhilarating and nothing to fear. We had a great time.
So this was kind of the send-off and the congratulations on a job well done. Within 7-8 months of us seeing each other, Lee has conquered a disease, the second leading cause of neurological disease in this actual world. And God bless him, he did it on his own. I was just there to help facilitate a little bit of it. It just goes to show you nothing's impossible. And the whole point of what plasticity is and the balls deep living adventures is putting the possible in impossible. She came in with the biggest smile, just like Lee did, and you could tell she wanted to get better. And that's pretty much half the battle for me, somebody who wants to get better.
I was nervous at first, but after sitting with him, talking with everyone, I felt good on going on this journey and seeing where it takes me and my health. I mean, I have no other choice.
She was completely anemic in everything, from iron to her red blood cells, her free testosterone, her total testosterone were bottomed out. She had issues with B12. She had issues with all kinds of different things in the system, from her thyroid to her adrenal glands. I mean, it's a situation where when you take a look at that, those are common things that you can fix. And if you're battling a disease, if you're up against a demon such as MSA, you have to take all the unique aspects of it and kind of flip it back on itself. So let's correct the various forms of anemia. I mean, like, go after the iron. Her iron's bottomed out, make sure she has more iron. We use methylene blue to make sure that the oxygen in her system that's attached to the iron was doing better. And I think out of all the treatments we've done for her, the methylene blue has probably been the most dynamic.
I noticed a really big difference. She was able to walk more, like, instead of on a wheelchair, like, she could actually walk, like, with a cane. And like, now I'm able to do, like, my hobbies with her.
The thing is, when it comes to MSA, it's all about neural health. And the most important thing that your brain runs off is oxygen. I mean, if you don't get enough oxygen, that's the first thing that dies. And she's walking around with low iron, she's walking around with no red blood cells in her system, her testosterone's bottomed out, she has no energy, no enthusiasm, no pep in her step. It's just a situation where it's like, you have to sit there and look like, we have to give her oxygen, we have to get her motivated, we have to get her to want to get better even more than she already does. And that was the situation. When you take a look at how anemia affects anybody, whether it's somebody with cancer, whether it's somebody with an autoimmune disorder, whether it's somebody with a neurodegenerative disorder like her, getting enough oxygen to the situation is the most important part of it, which nobody really pays attention to in traditional medicine, which is just mind-blowing.
Well, the positive changes is that I'm up. At least I use a walker, but I can take those steps. My mobility, daily things like eating by myself, speech, it has improved significantly.
Change has been 1,000%. She's more lively, more confident in herself, she's not scared to be who she is.
It's taken out that feeling of 1 year's down, when's it gonna happen? Because I have hope that I'm gonna get better.
You start fixing the testosterone, you use things like methylene blue and everything, you get the red blood cells up, you get the iron up, and all of a sudden, at least you're giving her a better quality of life. So we've already won.
Now, since I've been on the treatment, I'm able to interact better on a daily with my children, do activities with them, just the regular things that I wasn't able to do. It's helped a lot.
So what's next for Esther? And again, the big year coming up here, we're doing a lot of unique stuff with lifestyle medicine, and we're debuting something called the Mitocil program, and it's specific for mitochondrial health. So we're going to be trialing her on this one. It's an NAD injectable with high dose methylene blue, so I'm increasing her methylene blue. We're going to be giving her more 5-amino-1-MQ. She was on this as well. And then we're adding nicotinic riboside to it. So what this does, this whole program kind of goes to build what's called NAD in the system. NAD then hits the mitochondria. Mitochondria in your cells are the powerhouses, and they generate a specific substance called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. ATP is life. ATP is energy. When you hear energy, you're talking about ATP. So we're going to really try to focus on actually helping her, produce more metabolic health throughout her entire system.
My experience working with Dr. Ivan is wonderful. It's very one-on-one. I feel at home when I come here. I feel comfortable with whatever treatments he's always willing to explore for my health. So yeah, I'm very happy.
Esther has gotten better quality of life. She's got to spend more time with her kids, and they have taken me on a personal journey that I can't even begin to fathom. And again, it still doesn't process.
Yes, the best advice is that I can give them is to not lose hope. Definitely reach out to Dr. Ivan and Lifestyle Medicine. It's going to make a world of difference.
All right, so I'm going to read something that Esther's daughter wrote for her personal narrative essay for her class. And it was something that, you know, again, you see a lot of crazy shit in this office, and this sits right here because this is one of the things that really touched my heart. You know, it goes over how her mom was, you know, before she got diagnosed with this, and explaining how hard it was for that, how, you know, 3 in 100,000 people get it, just insane stuff. And it goes over how hard it was. Her speech would sometimes get messed up, and it just kind of explains, it gives you a picture of who Esther was. And then she comes in, and again, this is one of the most unique ones. My dad began looking for doctors who could help her with the case, and he met a doctor named Dr. Ivan, who helps cure people with vitamins, peptides, and many other minerals. Granted, this girl is in junior high. You know what I mean? Like, so this is awesome. It took a while for Dr. Ivan to reach out because he was looking through her case and wondered how he could help my mom out. Before we knew it, Dr. Ivan responded back to my dad, letting him know that he was able to take it. Everyone in my family was filled with extreme excitement and joy because her case was so rare. Recently, as of today, ever since my mom has gotten the treatment, there are days she can walk on her own without a cane. Her speech has gotten somewhat better, and she's also eating a lot more. Compared to how she was at the beginning, she has improved significantly. What I have learned from this experience is that life can change at any moment. Remember to always cherish the memories that you have with your loved ones, because you won't have them forever. And that's I mean, that right there to me is the reason I spent $400,000 in medical school, 5 to 10 years after high school of my life. I'm glad I got through that without turning into a baby. But again, I think this is what medicine needs to be. It needs to be an aspect of your improving quality of life. It's experiential experiences and understanding. It's not just treating a lab. You're treating a person.
I recommend Dr. Ivan with my life, so why wouldn't I recommend him to anyone else that's going through a situation similar to mine?
You cannot be a victim of anything that's going on in your life.